What's up, YouTube? Hopefully, you guys have had a good week here. I've been very slow with content, but I'm going to get back into it actually this coming week. It's just been a little crazy. Had a lot going on for myself, both family, business, mentorships, everything, right? But I did want to kind of take the chance to, as usual, at least do a quick weekly recap of the week, stats, payouts, talk a little bit about the charts as well. This is your first time following, please drop a like and subscribe. It means a lot and helps me out a lot. Let's get right into it. Overall, the week was fairly slow, I would like to say, all things considered. I still managed to get a lot of my base hits in with my Lucid accounts and also Top Step and a couple of Take Profit Trader accounts as well. But overall, I didn't really kind of push all too much. And the reason being is because the markets that we've been in so far, and again, some days offer some great opportunities, but this daily range we've been in has just not been ideal. So that's been a big part of the reason why I haven't really been, catching as many of those bigger trades that I've captured last year. But I think that's the thing about trading is that like it's not a linear path. Sometimes we can go through weeks, months, even for that matter, where you just don't get the setups that you like. And another trader might look at this and say like, hey, what are you talking about? They're amazing A plus setups, and I don't doubt that. I'm just in that space right now where I'm very content with just taking a bit of the pie every single day. I think that when we get into better trending markets, I will start sizing up a little bit more, not just on futures, but also options as well. And I'm kind of looking forward to that. So for now, protecting capital and just really just taking what the market offers me for now, right? So for the month of February, about 59,000 is kind of where I'm at right now as far as a P&L performance with the prop accounts, 83% win rate as well. I think the win rate's been, I don't want to say easy, but I've been able to hold this as of late because of the fact that I'm not really holding for bigger moves. Generally speaking, if you're going to shoot for a higher R multiple, you'll find that you'll have a lower probability of a win rate because, obviously the longer your position is exposed, the lower your win rate is going to likely be. And that's just in most cases. But also, I would say that because I'm kind of like a one and done, or if I do, at best I trim, that plays a big factor in that as well. I know that often that, I have a student that I'm working with right now that has been very successful thus far. But the thing is, he dynamic sizes, right? And so I think when you're in that kind of situation, your win rate could be very skewed because of it. But nevertheless, though, I think that stats are stats for a reason. They're there just to tell you a story. I think regardless of whether your win rate is low or high is almost really irrelevant. If you're profitable, that's really all that matters. The stats are really there to just tell you your story as a trader, right? So I think it's just something important to kind of keep that in mind. And I say that because I think there are people out there who have very large P&Ls, and you try to aspire to be them, but what you don't understand is the amount of scale that one person has to have sometimes to have that kind of P&L. And I'm not saying that all people are that in that case, but if I were to see someone achieve like a $500,000 month, for example, I'd like to imagine they're probably not trading one mini. I like to imagine they're probably not only risking $3,000 position sizes, right? They're playing a much larger game. And I think that as traders, even for myself, that's kind of what I'm obviously aspiring to over the course of the next 10 years is to grow my account balance, to grow my skill set to a stage where I can scale my capital in that way. So I just want to share that with you guys because I think that sometimes we do compare ourselves and maybe not in the right ways. Focus on the path that we're on, right? So anyways, that's some of the stats. This is the trading calendar so far. So as you can see over the course of the week, I didn't trade today's New York session with futures at all. And you could probably see a theme here. I don't really trade Fridays, and the one Friday I took an L on. And the reason is that like New York's been very tricky as of late. And in terms of like offering opportunity, there's two reasons for me as to why I've kind of been avoiding it. Is one, it's been very volatile, and I mean there are 2-minute candles that can quite literally hit your stop loss and your target all within a 2-minute candle, which can sometimes be very tough to work with. Also, part of it is because I had been able to get my accounts hit over Asia and London already, which is kind of the reason why I don't stress too much going into it. And if anything, I just focus on options because I can't trade options over Asia and London. So it kind of acts as like a perfect balance for me, but we'll see what obviously the market has to offer. As I potentially, and I say potentially because it depends on if I want to take on more different accounts with different prop firms, as I'm fairly content with what I've got already. But if I decide to, and I take on accounts that might not have consistency rules or anything like that, maybe I'll take a look into dabbling back into New York a little bit more again. But all things considered, overall, my best day this week was Wednesday. which was actually technically a Wednesday overnight going into Thursday, and that was my top step trade that I posted on Instagram as well. Was that was the day I think I did close out a $5,600 trade that day on Top Step. So that contributed to a bit of that. Otherwise, most of those trades were just like, $600 $800 hits just to get my account for the trading rules and what have you to get to my payouts, right? And kind of just switching over here as well. Lucid, you can see here for the month of February. Excuse me, sorry, I'm still getting over my cold here. A decent amount of payouts so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 payouts already so far in the month of February. I'll probably be able to lock in 4 or 5 more before the end of the month here. We'll see. I mean, I don't want to count the chickens before they hatch here, but judging from what I'm pacing around, it's very likely where I'm going to head to. So you can kind of see here already. I mean, that's just a little under $30,000 in payouts already in the month of February. So it's been pretty good. And this is all also just on Lucid, right? This doesn't include Top Step. This doesn't include Take Profit Trader, which is also all the props that I trade with. So far, it's been off to a pretty good start. And then from a P&L perspective for options, again, I'll share more of it once I'm actually done the entire month, because I don't know how to actually filter out my bank statements without showing all my like account numbers and stuff like that. So I usually like to screenshot and scratch it out and show you guys that at the end of the month. So I'll show you that later on. But this week's been a slower week, sorry, not month, slower week for me on options as well. I think was just a little under $5,000 on options versus my 10K weeks I've had prior. So, but overall though, still pretty good. I'm very positive on the month, and I might beat last month. We'll see. I'm not really too sure yet. But let's just kind of dive into the charts now, though. Give me 1 second here. I'm just going to change the screen up. Perfect. All right, so talking about the chart. So, I mean, if you take a look at this right now, this is like the daily chart. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the past 5 days. Like, they're not great, right? Like, these are not great days to look at as far as trading wise, right? It's a little tough because you're just not only on the overarching daily chart are we in a range, but like you close yourself in this little silo of a box. I mean, you're basically just kind of swinging back and forth all week, which has made it a little bit more difficult to work with, right? Now, with that said, though, I am still, and this was my sentiment coming into the week, was that I was looking for more of a bullish move on the overall market because we were kind of double bottoming here at the 200 EMA on the daily time frame. And obviously we didn't get any follow through, but with the way that we closed off Friday, I am still kind of leaning towards a bullish sentiment as we go into this coming week. Obviously there'll be other factors that will play into this, but just from a pure technical aspect, I am looking for longs. Of course, if anything changes over the course of the week through price action, I will change the course of my bias. And I want to say that having a daily bias for me doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be married to it. It just means that I'm going to be looking for those setups more than anything else, because for me, it also means that a higher time frame confluence to the smaller time frame, it means that I'm more likely to have a higher probability in that specific setup. However, obviously, if we do see opportunities for the opposite, I'll always generally be prepared to take that as well. Talking about today's price action specifically, I didn't catch I don't want to say A plus, but I didn't catch the ideal setup that I wanted today. And that was because I was already on the road. I was actually driving my kid to school at this point in time. You can see here, this is around 8:50-ish. This is obviously me dropping my kid off at school. So I didn't get a chance to trade this, but that double top was really beautiful. I know that a couple guys in the Discord caught this trade, and one of them, I think with the one mini, caught $6,000 move on one mini, which is solid work. And the reason why this double top was, nice for me, and as you guys know, I like my double tops and double bottoms, but it was a nice setup from a overall market structure, chart pattern, candle bar by bar, like everything kind of just looked really good in the setup. Even though I know we had a lot of strong momentum coming into the day, so shorting that will obviously generally be very dicey. But if you actually take a look at over the course of the week, we actually double topped here before as well. And so I did catch the short on Wednesday on this move down, and coming into the day, and I'll just draw a box here just to provide a little bit better of a visual cue. But if you take a look at that, we pretty much did the exact same thing today, right? And so although I missed this, I'm glad other people caught this. Overall, a pretty solid trade that was offered here. This was about one from, like, obviously I don't want to expect anyone to caught the top, but let's say from about 97 down to here 886. Like that's about 120 some point move, and so overall pretty solid trade. Actually, is it more than that? Sorry, let me just double check here. Oh, it's way more than that. I'm sorry. 220 points. Sorry. I thought I was going to say that didn't seem right. So obviously a very solid move. Now, later on in the day, while I was kind of balancing a few calls and what have you, I did manage to take a short trade. I shorted the triple top essentially, a much slower move than I would have liked. I trimmed about 50% of my, I trimmed about 66% of my position for about 50% here. We didn't end up getting follow through. So I did close out up here for the last remaining 33% of my position for about negative 25%. Still a positive trade overall, but not the follow through that I really want. I was kind of looking for a little bit more. During this time was also when Trump was speaking, hence the slower movements and kind of volatility back and forth. But that was kind of the trade setup over the course of today that I took. You can see here that basically the moment we had that strong opening up and we had that nice higher low off the 200 EMA and the VWAP, we pretty much never really went below that. And so if you're an indicator trader, those plenty of opportunities to kind of long the VWAP, long the 200 EMA, acting as higher lows to the upside. So some really solid setups there. The FF indicator was even providing some nice trend moves, as you can see off the open. The trigger line acted as a really good retest for higher lows, and even over here later on, we that double top that we had here, we could see that as the bars turned red, obviously kind of showing you that there was acceleration in selling. This offered a nice short opportunity as well. So even if you didn't catch the top, maybe through your own technical analysis, the FF indicator offered some good opportunity here as well, showcasing a short trade there. So yeah, that's kind of just a few touch points and updates. I'm going to provide daily updates again going into next week. So be sure to obviously keep the bell of be sure to be on the lookout, because I am going to be looking to post as much as I can and share all the trade setups that I'm taking over Asia, London, and New York. So with that, hopefully you guys have a great weekend, and look forward to catching up with you guys more next week.